I think dealing with the loss of control was probably one of the first things that hit initially after I was diagnosed, because I'm used to being a planner and putting everything on my calendar and mapping things out. And I wanted to know that I had control over not only my schedule, but also the way that I felt and that I was going to react to things. And that feeling of all of a sudden, this was out of my hands and I didn't have any control, that was probably one of the first and most difficult things to deal with, because all I wanted was just for things to be normal and to be able to go on with life and do the things I had always planned to do. And when that was taken away from me and I was in control of almost nothing, it was a real challenge for me mentally, especially times in the hospital where people were coming in my room at all hours of the day or night, and I felt like I had very little say over that, because they were clearly doing what they needed to do. They were doing their jobs, but it didn't give me as many options for how I was going to, or at least I didn't think it gave me the options for how I was going to react. Now I can see that I still have full control over my own thoughts, my own actions, and the processes which I go through mentally. But at the time, this was all brand new for me, and I didn't know how to deal. I didn't know how to cope. I didn't know what to do when those feelings of hopelessness set in, when those feelings of anxiety hit, when a new person would enter the room and I didn't know what they were going to do or what it meant was going to happen to me or my physical body. And so it really was something that came over time, one little step at a time, where I had to kind of realize that even though all of these things were happening to me, I still could be fully present in my mind and I could still have control over my thoughts. And one of the things I tried to do is, when I was in a place that I didn't physically want to be in, when I was in an MRI machine, when tests were being done, when I had giant needles sticking into my back for spinal fluid, I found that one of the things that I could do was at least control my thoughts. And the way that I did that at the time was I would play songs in my head. I would almost on repeat have certain words of certain songs that were going through my head that allowed me to have a little bit of control and think of the things I wanted to think about and the positive things, as opposed to feeling the pain and thinking about what was happening around me, or the fact that I was trapped in an MRI machine and I couldn't move my body. Because if I spent time going there, then I actually got more and more anxious. But when I tried to remove myself physically from the situation and take more mental control, that was how little at a time I finally got to the point where I could handle that. And you know what? Now I can go have a 40-minute test in an MRI and I can practically take a nap or have it be personal time where it doesn't bother me at all. I can lay there. I can go through things in my mind that I want to. I can have prayers in my mind. I have songs in my mind. And I don't feel that sense of feeling out of control, because I know that mentally I'm still in control, even if physically I can't control my limbs and my body. I can still control my mind.
Who are you the most passionate about helping with your story?
I think I'm most passionate about helping people who are going through times where they are feeling hopeless. They're feeling fear. They are scared for the future. They don't know what's going to happen, or they don't feel good about how they know how to handle things. I think that's one of the things that's overwhelming, is when you feel like you're facing a challenge and you don't know if you're up for that challenge. It's easy to run up a dozen sets of stairs if you've done it a million times and that you know that you can do it with no problem. It's when you are teaching the baby to do those little stairs that it takes a lot more effort and time and learning. And when you're going through something for the first time, whether that's a physical or a mental struggle, you don't have necessarily the confidence in yourself that you will be able to handle it. You don't know how you're going to handle it. And I think that causes everyone a bit of anxiety, because you don't know what the future holds. Now, I still don't know what the future holds, and things could be totally different tomorrow. 2020 has been a great example of that. We're in a year of the pandemic, and none of us foresaw this. We didn't plan it, and we've had no choice but to deal with what has come. But I think the fact that you can get there one little step at a time, that you may not know what's going to happen, but you can consistently show up for yourself and do the little things. And when you do the little things daily and consistently and give yourself the benefit of the doubt and realize that you do have what's in you to be able to handle it, I think that's when things get a little bit easier. And that's when you learn to really start to love yourself no matter what's going on around you, is realizing that no matter what comes, that you can do this. I can do it. You can do it. We can do it. One step at a time.